All right, so what we are doing right now is actually programming this ultrasonic sensor to help us figure out ways to determine something such as speed of sound or distance in our classrooms. So what's going on with the code at the beginning is we are telling it to actually start sort of collecting the data. And we have set one of our pins as an output and one as an input. And when we're dealing with the code, we're really only going to be concerned with the pin that is the output. So once we get into the loop, we start out by setting it low, which means it's going to be at 0 volts for about 2 microseconds. And then it goes high for 10, and then it comes back to low again, which means that it's going from 0 volts to 5 volts back to 0. And we're taking this over a duration of time, which we are then telling it to print out for us in this serial monitor over here. So what this is telling us is how long it's sort of taking for the pulse to travel to and from the sensor. So you'll notice right now, we've got numbers in like 5,748, 5,775, and so on and so forth, because this sensor is picking up the thing that's closest to it, which right now is pretty far away. However, as an object gets closer, this number will get smaller. So I'll use my hand for an example. Okay, so now instead of being in the 5,000s, it's monitoring in around the 2 and 1,000. So it's at 1,635 right now. And when I get closer, it's now at around 571. And as I get even closer, the number is going to drop more and more. So to now it's at 295 microseconds, 388, and so on and so forth. And each time it's going to vary a little bit because there's always a slight error there. But the way that we want to be able to use this in our classrooms is that we can take time and distance, because speed is in meters per second. So if we have the distance and we have the time, we can find the velocity. Or if we have the velocity and the time, we can actually find distance, which is what we're using it for here, because we were talking about possibly using it to measure distance based off of speed of sound. So we know speed of sound, it is a known value. And if we plug in that known speed of sound, that meters per second, and we have the time, we can use those two to determine the distance that we are away from an object.